how did the conversation go from when you officially told them that you're going to be a Blue Devil then?
Yeah. So my dad had a couple of questions.
Mm-hmm.
So we got on a Zoom and he was asking the questions and I was asking some questions. And then Mac came in the room. So I got Mac to come in the room. And so he said what's up to coach and stuff because he told them a few days before he was committing.
Mm-hmm.
And so we were talking to Mac and then I told him and Mac was with me on the phone. It was crazy. I'll never forget it. Coach nearly fell off his chair. It was good.
What's going on today? I'm the host SchuZ, and joining me today is the number 9 ranked player in the class of 2023, a 5-star recruit, the number 1 player in Australia, and soon to be the 2nd Australian player in Duke history, Tyrese Proctor. Tyrese, appreciate you taking time to come on today, man.
Appreciate it. Thanks for having me.
Absolutely. Well, you're committed now. You're locked in. You don't have to worry about no college recruitment or any of that anymore now. How does that feel?
Yeah, a lot of stress off the shoulders. It was a crazy few months. Just being committed now, it feels great.
So ever since that's happened now, obviously kind of talk about just the relief over you now, because now you have about a year or so, maybe a little bit over to have to get on campus. So knowing that you don't have to worry about anything recruitment wise throughout the rest of the games you play, how's that aspect change you, or how's that much even help you now as you go into games the final year?
Yeah, for sure. Well, now I can just, focus on basketball more. So, block out sort of that outside noise and just get good at basketball. And then when it's my time to go over, just be ready for that.
Absolutely. Well, we're going to lie into Duke to wrap this up, but I want people to get to know how you've become this top player now, how you become the Tyrese Proctor that everyone knows you as. So if we head back, you're originally from Sydney, Australia. What was it like growing up out there?
Yeah, a lot different in America. A lot of nice people over there. Basketball culture is pretty big in Sydney. And yeah, it's just overall pretty good.
That's something I want to go into because the basketball culture, as you said, has grown tremendously now where it's obviously, America still has dominating in terms of draft stuff, but you look at Australia, they've been producing NBA talent year in, year out. And now it's becoming something that's going to be very competitive when you look at the global stage. So what's it been like being a part of it and kind of seeing the growth of Australia basketball now?
Yeah, I think the culture there is really, really positive. A lot of players that are making it out, very different than the ones in America. I feel like, a lot of Australian guards and mainly guards, really gritty, do a little work. And I think that's the main thing that sort of stands out from everywhere else is the culture that we have.
When you look at guys that have made it to the NBA level and have been producing at that level now, are there guys that you have looked up to as a kid, or maybe even guys that you take pieces from and put into your game now?
Yeah. Well, I watched a lot of film on Chris Paul. Just his reads off on balls and stuff. Steve Nash, Allen Iverson, Jamal Crawford. Just guys that I try to model my game off. I like the way that they played, and just tried to add bits and pieces in.
Now, when you look at guys in your generation, kind of when you talk about obviously Josh Giddey's in there, Ben Simmons obviously to a certain extent, but you look at just guys that's within the past 2-3 years of your age. What's it been like growing up with those guys and seeing some of those guys like Josh now make it to the league? Dice, then obviously going to be a guy that's going to be drafted this year. Now yourself. What's it been like kind of growing up with this group of guys?
Yeah, no, it's really cool to see them grow. Obviously them both being here with me. Mm-hmm. We trained a lot for a couple of years, and just keeping in touch with them and just seeing their point of view on different things. It's really good. But yeah, mainly it's just cool to see them grow and chase their dreams.
We look at yourself, though. How did the ball get put in your hands? When was the time you first started playing this game, and what brought you to basketball?
Sheesh. I think I got ball in my hands like age of 2.
Mm-hmm.
And my dad was a basketball player. So he grew up in Mississippi, went to Mississippi College, and then he came over to Australia to play. And just ever since then, just sort of always had a basketball in my hands.
Having someone in your life with your dad that, in a way, like you said, you can go through this recruiting process now. He's been through that. He's been able to play basketball at different levels. Learning from him day in, day out throughout your life, having him kind of in your life to help you do decisions. How big has it been having him in your life?
Yeah, he's been a really big factor, on and off the court, training me on. But him and my coach Marty here, they did a really good job with me through that whole recruiting process. We tried to block it off for as long as we could. Just not get distracted and just focus on what we're here to do. But yeah, my dad's been a big role model for me since a young kid, and just seeing him handle the stuff that's been going on, it's just been really cool to see.
What would you say has been the biggest lesson or thing that you've taken or learned from your dad?
Probably just don't get distracted. There's going to be a lot of different things that pop up, especially now. Just sticking to what you know, sticking to the people that you know, who you're close with, and yeah, just don't get distracted.
I believe that your sister also has played basketball too now. So having some of us in your family kind of growing up, following in your footsteps too now, what's that been like?
Yeah, it's cool seeing her grow. She's 14 now. But yeah, seeing her grow has been pretty cool. Whenever I go back home, try and get a workout in with her, or just go and support her, because I'm not really there as much anymore.
As for you, I know you also played soccer, I believe, growing up for a little bit. Was that something that ever you took seriously, or how far did you ever go with soccer?
Nah, it wasn't that serious. Just this with the boys. Soccer, yeah, baseball was in there for a little bit.
Mm-hmm.
Baseball and basketball was sort of like the two that I messed with the most. But it was always basketball from day dot.
When you first decided that basketball was what you wanted to pursue and not just play as like for fun, but you really said, okay, this is something I want to pursue at the highest level. If that is through high school, if that is playing on a national team or professional NBA, college, whatever it might be. When was that for you?
I think I sort of realized my potential, I guess, when I was like 14,
Mm.
13, 14. That's when it sort of started to hit me a little bit,
Mm-hmm.
and just realized that I had a really good shot, and yeah, that I reckon, yeah, 14.
Australia basketball is a little bit different in terms of the system and how it obviously gets guys ready for the collegiate level, pro route, or whatever guys decide to take at that age. So I believe you started off playing with the Sutherland Sharks. Walk us a little bit. Was that the first experience you really played at a high level of basketball, or take us to that first experience?
Yes, I've been with them. I was with them my whole junior career.
Mm-hmm.
So from when I was about, I think, 8 to when I was about 16 or something.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, playing with them was really good. Um, and then I had my school team, Trinity. So I sort of moved in between those two, and then I came down to the academy in year 10, and just been with them ever since for the last 3 years.
So take us to the process a little bit. I mean, I know that's not all people are going to realize. Like, obviously, at high school, you typically go and you play the club route, then you come back, whatever. What is the Australia system like? How does that work?
So it's like we have it's called representative basketball.
Mm-hmm.
So you have your associated clubs pretty much, and you'd train throughout the week, and you'd play on Sundays.
Mm-hmm.
Well, when I was playing, it was Sundays. I think they changed it now, but it's sort of like a comp inside of Sydney, so inside your states, and you pretty much you just playing there every week, traveling around Sydney playing, and then you have your typical finals and stuff. And then school wise, it'd just be the same. So every week it depends, because normally with school you'd have summer. So we do summer. It's not year round. So you
Mm-hmm.
normally have summer at school. You normally have your basketball, and then winter you have your other sports. But it's the same thing. Just playing every week.
Who would you say growing up was your favorite guys to go up against? Was there a couple of guys that you love playing and that you enjoy, like when you remember back, that those were some of the guys you love matching up against growing up?
Yeah, definitely Dyson. Dyson's one of my boys. But just competing with him every day when he was here. All the 1v1s that we did and stuff. And yeah, no, Dyson for sure.
So what age was that? When did you two first get to know each other?
I think I played against him. I played against him when I was really young, like when I was like 12.
Mm-hmm.
And then we sort of he went down to the academy, and then I went down a couple months after him, and then we, became really close after that.
When you guys first got to actually talk to each other, so I guess more towards academy time, did you guys click right away, or when did you guys first start to develop your relationship?
Yeah, well, we were always rooming together. So we
Mm-hmm.
roomed, I think, like our whole time at the academy. So yeah, no, we've always been cool, had that relationship there. But yeah, no, yeah, definitely.
We got to take us through you guys playing one on one then. Like you said, no, I have to imagine you guys played a lot of that. So how do those games typically go?
They get heated. All the boys down here, everyone competes, but yeah, no, they get really heated.
So if you guys were to go play a game right now at 21, who's winning that?
I'm winning. I'm winning. I'm winning. I win him.
What's the score probably going to be? If you guys go on 21, like what do you think the score is going to be?
I'll give him 5, 21 to 5.
So now seeing the way that he's developed and he's soon to be an NBA draft pick, a lot of people think obviously the lottery, if not, be top 20. To see him reach this point, as well as yourself now in the future, what's it like kind of seeing you guys reach the goals that you guys dreamed of growing up?
Yeah, it's really crazy. Time goes really quick, and him being here not too long ago, rooming together and stuff. It's just been crazy to see how fast he's grown. And it just, I don't think it hits you until later down the track,
Mhm.
but it's just crazy to see how far like how far we've come.
Let's go into that transition you made then, because you decided to take the transition to the NBA Academy, which is something that's become bigger and bigger. I think more and more people are starting to realize how great of a resource it is for guys. Take us to that move, though. Like, what brought you there? Why was that the place you said, okay, I want to spend the next few years out here?
Yeah, definitely. Well, I got a phone call. My parents got a phone call one morning just when I was going to school, and they sort of explained it to me. And then I came down and visited for a couple of days.
Mhm.
And as soon as I came here, you could just something was about it. You just want to get better. Everyone here gets better. The environment's good here. The culture's good. All the people here are really nice. And yeah, I think it's the best. I think it was the best route for me.
Mhm.
Just going against the best in Australia, and then when the Global Academy came in, just around the world, getting kids from Africa, like everywhere, China, Latin America. So yeah, it's been really cool.
When you first got out there, you were one of, if not the youngest person that was a part of that program. How'd you adjust to that, knowing that these guys are not just your average players? These guys are all guys that could play at the collegiate level and that could go play professionally. And you were a young player out there. How did you get used to this? What was the first couple months out there like for yourself?
Yeah, the first few months were definitely tough. I wasn't that strong or that big. Going against the Giddies, the Mo Kings, the Tamri Wignesses, those type of guys. Getting my ass handed to me every day at training. So that was it was definitely tough. But it comes to a point where you just don't accept it anymore. You just got to start fighting back, and yeah, you get good quick.
At that point in time, when you made the move to the NBA Academy, did you already say to yourself, okay, I know that in however many years, I'm going to be a player that can go play collegiately or go play in the NBA someday? Did you view yourself already as one of the best players in that 2023 class?
Not necessarily, no.
Hmm.
I think not until like I reckon a year in,
Hmm.
so I sort of started to develop a bit more and get a little bit stronger and stuff. But yeah, it was always like it was there, like people talked about it and stuff, but
Yeah.
I just try not to think about it that much.
And it's kind of fast forwards a little bit too, but obviously you're not just a big name in Australia anymore. Since you've obviously committed to Duke, your name's buzzing more and more. The rankings now have you up within the rankings now. And so you have a much larger target almost in a sense now. You have more people that kind of view you as someone that they're going to go after when they play. They know who you are now. How have you dealt with, in a way, this fame now? It's come with becoming the top player that you are today.
Yeah, well, definitely. Even over the last few tournaments that I played in back here in Australia, kids targeting you every game. It's just something you have to deal with. They're not gonna. It's not gonna be easy. No game's gonna be easy. Like regardless who you are. But I think just knowing the work you've put in and who you are as a person, that really it really helps you in game. Like you just don't let that stuff bother you,
Mm-hmm.
and you just go out and you just compete.
Has it been someone that has been in your life that's either helped mentor you through it all, or has kind of helped you either be a player, or a teammate, or a coach, someone that's kind of helped you get through all the transition you've been through now?
Yeah, definitely my dad.
Hmm.
I think from a young age, him coaching most of my junior career, um, you know, helping me be a leader on the court and off the court, just setting stuff by example, being a role model. But yeah, no, all the like traditions that he sort of engraved into me, I've sort of kept throughout when I've been here.
Now, for those that aren't familiar with the NBA Academy, it obviously is something that's helped develop countless players that people now know about. But what does the typical day look like from the time you wake up to the time you go to bed? What does a day look like at the NBA Academy?
Yeah, so because I'm finished school now, a typical day would be wake up around 8 o'clock, 7:30. Go eat breakfast, and then we normally have some sort of on-court shooting or individual in the morning,
Mm-hmm.
and then we sort of got a little bit of a gap between the middle of the day when the kids are at school, and then when they get back, um, we'd have some sort of team training or and weights, and then recovery after dinner. But there's always you can always get in another workout in that little gap that we have in the lunchtime bit, and then just getting up. We got set goals that we need to get up. So getting up more than 500 free throws a week, more than 2,500 shots a week. So just on top of the training, we have goals as well.
That is something that is going to be kind of typical and similar, at least, to life at college and kind of adjusting to that. So, how much would you say living this type of lifestyle where you're almost already are in a college environment to a certain extent, workout wise, at least, I should say, how much has that bettered you as a player, having to do this much workouts and preparing you for basketball long term at this young of an age?
Yeah, no, it's been really good. I think the big thing was time management.
Hmm.
Just handling school and basketball at the same time can be tough at times, but I think being here and having the support system that they have here has been really good. Everyone, just letting transferring that to college or wherever the next step might be. I think it's a really big benefit that they do really well here.
So, we go back a little bit timeline wise, then you're in your first year out there at the NBA Academy. Was long term your goal to play collegiately? Did you always say that I want to play in America and play college, or was that something that came more recently, or when did that dream come for you?
Um, it was sort of up in the air at an early age.
Mm-hmm.
Like my goal was the NBA. And I always watched college basketball. Just seeing the environment that they have there. March Madness. Everyone watched March Madness as a young kid.
Mm-hmm.
And then sort of as I got older and more stuff started to pop up, it was and like the visits and all that. That's when it sort of got real.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, it wasn't like set, but it was there. Like I always had a thought of it. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. So go through that very first year. Then you are, like I said, one of the youngest players out there. That first year of going through the experience of the NBA Academy, what was that like?
Yeah, crazy. I think 2 months in, we went our first trip to Vegas and we played in that Titanium Classic there,
Yep.
which was awesome. That was my first time playing in America. And then a couple months later, I was in Hungary and France playing. So it's just just traveling the world, just playing with different people and just seeing how different basketball is, in the respective countries and stuff.
What would you say has been your favorite place to visit? At all the countries you've been, not including Australia, obviously that's where you live at, but at every place you visited, what's your favorite either state or city or country that you've been to so far?
Um, I mean, Durham's where it's at. You know what I'm saying? So that's top one. But no, France was good. I really enjoyed France.
Hmm.
France and Hungary. We had a tournament there that we played in, and I had a really good time. Really good time there.
We talked a little about Australia basketball, but now that you've got experience quite a bit of American basketball, just at least being able to watch it via just watching college basketball games, playing at Tarkanian Classic and events like that, what would you say separates in terms of just the way a player is created, like the branding of basketball, I should say, between Australia and America?
I think just the culture, what I said before. I think there's a really strong culture here in Australia that a lot of international and FIBA players are starting to pick up on now.
Mm-hmm.
Just the way that Australians carry themselves on and off the court, and just like the efforts, the dirty work that we do and stuff. I think it's becoming more seen now than it used to.
Yeah.
Especially in the Olympics and all the FIBA tournaments and stuff.
The future of Australia is bright, and I think obviously if it's the next Olympics or something like that, when you guys potentially have Ben Simmons play with you guys have a lot of these guys develop, obviously like Josh and Dyson, yourself could even possibly be on that team. The list goes on. How bright is the future of Australia basketball?
Yeah, I think it's really bright. It's getting a lot bigger here. I feel like it's a lot bigger, a lot stronger. I think the future's really bright. A lot more kids are developing at an early age, and the environment here is just getting really good.
If you could pick one Australia player that you'd like to play with that's a little bit older than yourself, so obviously like basically excluding Dyson or Josh, something like that, who is someone that you would love to play with? You like your dream player to play with if you could play with them in the Olympics or a FIBA tournament? Who would that be?
Definitely Paddy.
Mm-hmm.
Paddy set the tone for everyone. Just his personality on and off the court, and just the way he carries himself is just really cool to see.
We'll go back into your NBA Academy experience then. You head into the second year, and that's obviously right around when COVID becomes into play, and obviously everything happens that way. How did COVID impact you as a player at the NBA Academy? How did you guys get around that?
Yeah. So when it first sort of hit, we all went home for a little bit,
Mm-hmm.
few months because everyone was in lockdown over here,
Yeah.
and we were lucky enough to come back and start training. I think we were the only team in Australia that was allowed to train.
Mm.
So that was like pretty good. There was obviously some guidelines and stuff around it regarding how many people are allowed in the gym and stuff, but we definitely got a head start, and we're allowed to keep training and do what we wanted to do that the rest of Australia couldn't.
Now, I have to imagine obviously you guys weren't able to travel as much as you guys were prior to that, both because Australia and other countries too. So, how did that 6 months to 8 months kind of time span look like? Like, what was the daily day life like, and how was it just like basically buying the basketball every single day of practice wise?
Yeah, so we had set practices and stuff. We didn't really have any games. We weren't traveling. Yeah, it was pretty quiet. We're just training with all the boys here, just
Mhm.
scrimmages. We'd have inside scrimmages and stuff, but there wasn't a lot of travel, a lot of games. Yeah, there wasn't. It was pretty quiet for a while.
At that point in time, we looked obviously already at the college aspect for yourself. You kind of had an idea of wanting to do that. It was harder because obviously coaches couldn't come watch you play at that point. It was a lot more constricted that way. Where were you in the college aspect? Did you have any interest offers to an extent at that point in time?
I think I had a couple, but not as many as I did later on.
Mm-hmm.
Just because it was harder to get film and stuff. Being over in Australia, it's not easy to get on a plane and fly 20 hours over. Um, but yeah, it was there wasn't a lot there. Yeah.
So when you were at that point and you didn't obviously know what was going to happen, no one knew when it was COVID was actually going to end for yourself. Did you at any point kind of start considering saying, okay, maybe if college isn't able to get out here, if this isn't something I could get offers for, I might consider a pro route, or did COVID not really have much of an impact on what you wanted to do long term?
Yeah, no, it didn't really have an impact. I was just, playing it by the ear and just being patient, trusting my work and stuff, and just waiting for the opportunity.
Now things get going again, obviously, and it's been about the past year, and you guys make the tournament back out to Vegas, Tarkanian Classic, and that's when your name really starts buzzing because now you've pretty much come into the play that we know you as today, or at least close to it. What was that like getting back from COVID and getting to play at a high level again? Take us to that.
Yeah, that was sort of like one of our main first trips that we went on. So me and a few boys here split up in different teams in the other academies.
Mm-hmm.
So I played with the NBA Academy Africa team, and that was really cool knowing some of the boys before that I played in France with. So getting to play with them again. Yeah, that tournament was really fun. Going to Utah and then Vegas to play in the Tucanian Classic.
Mm-hmm.
Just getting a new group, new vibe, a new coaching staff and stuff. So it was really fun. I really enjoyed it.
I want to ask you this about some of your teammates because, in all honesty, rankings have never been something that I'm too big on. I think rankings are for the most part, because of so many guys that are from other countries, no one really knows exactly how to rank them. And you obviously got ranked in the top 10, which is fine. I think you actually have a chance at being number one, but a lot of those guys don't get the ranking attention yet. A lot of them are ranked who knows where. Who are some guys that you play with that might be heading to college this year or in the next couple of years that you think is super underrated right now that might not have the national attention that other guys might have? Like, who is someone that people should keep an eye on that you've played with now?
Yeah, definitely Rory Hawk. He's another guard. He's just one of those gritty players. Works really hard. Where no one's watching sort of thing. Alex Tui, he
Mm-hmm.
just came off again MVP of the under 20 nationals here.
Yep.
So he's been really good. But those two are, they're real. I reckon they're really underrated. A lot of people are gonna see their names sort of come up in the next few years.
So with Dyson gone now this past year or so, who's been your favorite guy to go up and match up against one on one now? Has it been someone else that you've kind of become roommates with, or someone that you've become really close with that you've now gone against one on one? You really like going up against at practice?
Yeah, definitely Rory. I think
Mm-hmm.
Rory. I love going up against Rory. Evan Kilminster, he's another guard from Sydney.
Mm-hmm.
Those two guys, I think, I really enjoy matching up against. Rory's real physical, and so is Evan. Yeah, it's just really fun to play against.
So take us through this past year or so, ever since the Tarkanian Classic. What's the past few months been like? Obviously, we will get into recruiting stuff and all that too, and the national teams. But Just playing with the NBA Academy the past year, what's that been like?
It's been great. Obviously love traveling a lot more now playing. Had that tournament in Vegas in December and then came back and went to Providence. And
Mhm.
we had that we had games in I think 5 games in Providence with the global team and then obviously going to Portland, play for the Nike Hoop Summit. That was, life experience. That was
Mhm.
really cool to be part of. And then we got games coming up here. So it's nonstop travel and, just playing basketball.
You mentioned two things I want to go into. The first one was one of the more recent ones, Nike Hoop Summit. That was something where you got the opportunity to come up and play alongside many of the international top players as well as against the top guys in America. How'd you get the opportunity though? What was it? Did someone just reach out to you, or how'd you get the opportunity to go out and play on that?
Yeah. I think my dad let me know about it at first.
Mm-hmm.
I think someone contacted him and then he sort of, told me and then we sort of started looking into it a bit more and then yeah, I just had it over.
When you got there, what was it like being around all these other guys that have similar dreams to you? They're going to big schools now and they have NBA aspirations after that. What was it like just being around that group of guys?
Yeah, no, I really enjoyed it. I think everyone did. Trainings were physical, strong, really, really, really fun to be a part of. I think we had a really good group of guys that connected off the court as well. But the whole trip was just, once in a lifetime, you never forget it.
When you got there, was there anyone else that you really created a strong relationship? Like, was there one guy you remember stand out, maybe even two others, something that you became close with that you might not have known much about prior to that?
Yeah, I think London
Mhm.
Johnson. So him and Mackenzie, Mackenzie committed a couple of days after me. So, definitely those
Mhm.
two.
And obviously, that does lead a little bit into what we're talking about in a minute, though. But did you and Mac know each other heading into that, or was that the first time you guys got to know each other?
Yeah, we spoke a little bit, not a lot, but that was mainly, the first time we met and stuff.
So did you two just click right away, or?
Yeah, yeah, we knew what was going on. No, he's cool. I can't wait to get over there and play with him.
Well, then you also have the other opportunity for yourself, and that's playing on the national team. And you got to play both in the U18 and U20 teams. What was it like playing for start with the U18 team? Because you got to go out there and you become pretty much the lead guy right away. What was it like being a part of that group?
Yeah, no, that was it was really I had a really good time. We had a good group of guys. It wasn't the result we wanted. Fourth, I
Mm-hmm.
think it was. But yeah, personally, I had a good tournament. Just a different role on the team, sort of being the main guy, like you said. But yeah, no, overall, I had a really, really good time.
And then on the other hand, you get to be part of the U20 team. And that's something where you still obviously had a large role in that team, was a little bit more of kind of playing a role, I should say. So what was that like?
Yeah, no, that was with the academy the first year,
Mm-hmm.
so that was really good. We won that tournament, and just playing against the best of the best in Australia. We had a good team. We were younger than everyone, and just going out and playing hard. And then a couple of weeks ago, we played the U20s again. I think we came fifth.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, another good tournament. I think I played well. Um, we had a good group of guys there too, and overall it was just really good.
Now, obviously, long term, I have to imagine that the goal is for you to play on the national team that qualifies potentially for FIBA games and eventually, obviously, the Olympics as well. Are those opportunities on the table for yourself? Obviously, the Olympics are still 2.5 years, whatever, away from occurring. Is playing on those teams, or at least try out with them, is that something that's been on the table for yourself, or would you be interested in that if it is on the table?
Yeah, definitely. I was supposed to head over to Japan, but there was some things that happened.
Mhm.
So I wasn't able to go over there for the qualifying games over there. But yeah, definitely. I'm just waiting for the opportunity, and I can't wait when it comes.
Obviously, the big thing that everyone's always seen is that for the most part, the US has dominated in terms of Olympics. And I mentioned earlier, countries like Australia and Canada are the two, I think France too, are three of the countries that really have a chance of potentially beating the United States in the future. When you talk about you guys having a core group of Ben Simmons, obviously, eventually there, yourself, Josh, Dyson, how good do you think you guys can be? And do you think there's a day that could possibly come where Australia does come away with a gold medal or something like that?
Yeah, 100%. I think everyone here knows the target now. We got a bronze medal.
Yep.
The bar's been set, and it's just who can knock it off next. I think we got a really good group of guys coming through. And yeah, I just can't wait to get over.
You look at some of the guys younger than yourself. Who would you say is the next or the best up and coming guy? Someone that might be a year or two younger than you. Who's the next up and coming Australia's top player?
Yeah, Josh Dent's definitely one of them. He's a
Mm-hmm.
point guard here at the academy. Rocco, he's a 7'2" big man that's just it's hard to get past him on defense. I
Mm-hmm.
think he's really sort of getting into his outcoming his shell now. Those two guys off the top of my head right now, that would be they're upcoming.
If the day does come, or I should say, most likely when the day comes, that you get to wear a jersey that has Australia go across your chest and playing on a level where you can win a gold medal or win a bronze or silver, whatever that is, what would that mean to you?
I mean everything. Watching the Boomers at a young age, seeing just the culture. I think culture is a big thing here. I think it'd just be a dream come true. My family's always talked about it. We've always watched. I think just when the day comes, hopefully if the day comes, it'll just be an unbelievable experience.
This might put you on the spot a little bit, but if you had to rank the top three players from Australia of all time, who's your top three?
Of all time,
Yeah, yeah,
jeez, Paddy's up there. Paddy has to
mm,
be up there. I reckon
definitely.
Paddy Mills. Um, oh my god. You got your Andrew Bogut's.
Mm-hmm.
Bogut has to be up there. You got your Delis.
Mm-hmm.
Um, then you go back even more. You got your, jeez. I mean, those three guys, I reckon they're up there. Paddy, Deli, Bogut, and then you got before, who was before them? Andrew Gaze, those type of guys that were, really, really big. So it's a tough one.
Now, the other question I got to kind of put you on the spot, though, is you got to choose what would be your favorite one out of all these. One, if you could only pick one of these, which one would it be? Winning a gold medal for Australia, winning a national championship at Duke, or winning an NBA championship? Which one would you prefer? If even if you
Sure.
prefer, give us the top three in order. Which one would you want the most?
I reckon, I reckon Australia first.
Mm-hmm.
I reckon winning a gold medal for Australia, being, that'd just be unbelievable.
Yeah.
Then I'd have to go NBA and then Duke.
Absolutely. Well, you let us now right into what we want to get into now, and that is that you are a Duke commit. I want to get into that with you. So, for starters, you looked this recruiting process, and it became hectic for yourself. Pretty much any college in the country would have wanted you to run the show for them at point guard in a year or so. So you go through those opportunities, you get all these offers, and you narrow it down though to a final grouping of Duke, Arizona, and the G League. And we know obviously where you go, but what was about those three opportunities? Why were those the three that stood out more so than every other opportunity that was on the table for you?
Yeah, well, with the two colleges, I think just the connections with the people there.
Yeah.
Going both obviously my two visits I took at those two schools, and just getting a feel of the campus and the lifestyle that I could see myself in there. And then with the Ignite, having a couple of Zoom calls and stuff, obviously because I couldn't head over. Just what they had to offer was, it was definitely something to consider, and it came down to the wire. Yeah.
When you were officially going through this process and you take your visits, you get to see some of these programs. What were those experiences like? Obviously, like you said, you didn't get to do it with the G League, but with Arizona and Duke, like you get to go see these campuses, get to try on the jerseys, all that type of stuff. What were those experiences like?
Yeah, crazy. Just them having me and my family over there. It meant a lot. Not a lot of kids, especially in Australia, get to do that.
Mm-hmm.
Like America. But yeah, it was really fun to be a part of. Really cool.
The one I do want to go into the most is the Duke visits. So I have to imagine that was a large part in why you ended up committing there. So from the time you stepped foot out there in Durham and you were experiencing Duke to the time you left, what was that visit like?
Yeah, it was crazy. First step I took, stepped on Duke. You just had this feeling, you had a gut feeling. The coaching staff there, the people there, the environment that they had there, it was just amazing and unbelievable.
Mm-hmm. So what's some of the things you guys did then from the time you guys got out there to the time you left? Like what were some of the things that Coach Scheyer and the staff had you do? I'm sure like visiting campuses and all that, but like what's some of the things that you stood out the most to that you kind of got experience there?
I think just meeting everyone in person.
Mm.
That's a big thing for me and my family. Just sharing those connections with them. Took visits around campus, the stadium, the church and stuff, and then having the photo shoot was pretty cool. Just with all the coaches, just having a good time together. The dinners, we had dinners every night and stuff, just getting to know everyone, and then obviously going to that Wake Forest game was, that was crazy. Them winning on the buzzer. But yeah, the overall experience was just, it was unbelievable.
When you got done with that visit, where did Duke rank up on your list? Because at that point, I don't think you narrowed it down at all. So where was Duke after? Like, did you know that's where you probably were going to go by the end of this, or where did Duke rank up after the visit?
Yeah, I mean, it was definitely up there. I like I said, I had a gut feeling sort of from the beginning. And it just sort of pushed it more, but I just wanted to wait a little bit to see if it was still there. But yeah, no, 100%. Straight after leaving there, me and my parents, you just have this feeling, and the people there and just the place itself, it was just it's hard to turn down.
We go back to what we already touched up on a little bit. You got the Nike Hoop Summit, and your future teammate now is already out there, Max. So when you guys both got there, did you already know that by that date you're going to announce your commitment that you're going to Duke? Did talking to Mac a little bit throughout the time out there help kind of really kind of push it over the edge for you, or where were you when you got out at the Nike Hoop Summit in terms of committing?
Yeah, well, I wasn't going to commit at the Hoop Summit.
Mm-hmm.
I think I was going to commit after it. And then I don't know, I didn't have a date or anything. And then just talking to Mac and stuff, obviously he was telling me that he was going to commit there and stuff. But yeah, I ended up doing it before him, and then he did it a day after or so.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, no, it was pretty cool just talking to him, and the brotherhood, everyone talks about the brotherhood. I think it's a real thing. And yeah, just past people, like players and coaches, just always reaching out and checking on everyone. It's just really cool to be a part of.
When was the moment for you that you came to the conclusion you said, okay, it's no longer just like this probably is the number one for me. This is officially the place I'm going. I'm going to be a Blue Devil. I'm joining the Brotherhood. When was that, and what caused that moment to occur for you?
I think I rang coach the third day we were in Portland, and I had a few questions with him, and then sort of mom handed it over to me, and I told him and the staff, and yeah, it was crazy. I'll never forget it. Coach nearly fell off his chair. It was good.
So you actually said a little bit deeper then. So you make your conclusion, you tell your parents, okay, I'm going to Duke now, and you call the coaching staff. What was the conversation like? Did you just tell them right when they picked up, or how did the conversation go from when you officially told them that you're going to be a Blue Devil then?
Yeah. So my dad had a couple of questions. So we got on a Zoom, and he was asking the questions and I was asking some questions, and then Mac came in the room. So I got Mac to come in the room. And so he said what's up to coach and stuff, because he told them a few days before he was committing. And so we were talking to Mac, and then I told him, and Mac was with me on the phone.
Did Mac obviously already know before that you were going to go to Duke, and then he was in there for that reason, or was he even shocked when you told him?
No, he knew I was going to Duke. I told him before the Zoom call, yeah.
So when you talk about all the coaches, were they all on the camera then? Were they all on the phone?
Yeah. All of them were on, all the coaches, yeah.
So when you got that finally off your chest and you officially said, okay, my college stuff's done, I just need to make the post now, what went through your mind?
I mean, it just straight from when I posted it, just blew up. I think a big relief. What a stress, and more so just like not distractions, but just hearing different things. It was a huge relief, I think, for me and my family.
So let's go through this 2023 recruiting class, because it is extraordinary. Not just the fact that you guys are going to be number one, and I think it's going to stay that way no matter what, but the fact that it's done this early on, the fact that you guys have 5 of the top players already locked in a year before you guys even get out there. So you were obviously one of the last guys to hop on now, but you just look at the way the group came together. Do you have a relationship with anyone besides Mac? Did you get to know these guys throughout this process, or where do you stand relationship-wise with the other 3 guys?
Yeah, well, Sean was the first one to sort of, pop up, and we started talking earlier. And then Caleb and Jared, they were there. I started talking to them a little bit after. And then obviously me and Mac in Portland, that was good. But yeah, Sean was the first I sort of started talking to, and then started talking to the other boys later on, and yeah, started building connections and stuff.
This class, as I said, is number one. I think it's going to stay that way all the way through it. How special can you guys be, though? Because you guys are going to follow up what is already the number one class in 2022. How special can this 2023 class be?
It's gonna be good, man. It's gonna be a good year. It's gonna be fun. I think we're gonna be real special. I think everyone's waiting. I just can't wait to get over there and just wear the jersey.
Now, it's obviously has about a year in the making till it occurs, but as I said, number one class in 2022, you guys are number one class 2023. From your early prediction, which class do you think is going to be a little bit better?
No, I reckon we'll be better. We'll be better. Our class is gonna be better.
Well, kind of go through these guys a little bit because each one's going to be their own talented group, and you guys all kind of fit together pretty well position wise. So, how excited are you though for when that day does come that you guys all get to step foot in that court and start practicing together and play? How excited you just be able to get around those guys and play and practice with them?
Yeah, no, I can't wait for it. Just even on the visits, watching the trainings and the way that the way they train together and stuff. I just can't wait for it. Sort of hard to explain.
Is this group locked in now? Are you guys the 5-man recruiting class going to stay that way, or are you guys still trying to recruit someone else now?
I'm not sure. It's sort of we'll just see how it goes. Might be a couple more, might not be, but yeah, we'll see.
Is there anyone you're trying to recruit? Like if you had their own preference, you could go pick one more guy to go play with you guys, maybe even two guys. Who would be on your list? Like, is there someone else that you'd love to play with?
I'm not off the top of my head, but there's obviously like there'd be a couple guys that I reckon we could get.
Well, I want to go into Coach Scheyer a little bit more too, because he has technically not coached a couple of games to film for Coach K last year, but he hasn't gone through a whole season yet as head coach. So, what is it about Coach Scheyer? What was it about the way you guys built a relationship with him that he pretty much just won you over now? And what was it about him that landed you?
I think just his just the way he spoke about things, just real trust. Like I can trust him.
Mm-hmm.
Um, just him building the connection with my family, I think was really cool as well. Um, but yeah, Coach, I love Coach. That's mainly the reason I chose Duke. I just think he's a really good guy. I can trust him. He trusts me.
Mm-hmm.
We talk all the time, and yeah, I just can't wait to get over and play for him.
You just mentioned how you built a relationship with your family. So, what does that look like necessarily? Like, how is he able to go build a bond with other people in your family as well when obviously they're separate countries too?
Yeah, just talking to him on the phone and stuff, whether it's FaceTimes or just phone calls or Zoom calls. I think just building that relationship, because obviously it's hard because you can't go over every now and then.
Yeah.
But I think a big thing for me and my family was the relationships. Obviously, me going over to Duke, being a long way from home, they have to trust people,
Yeah.
and sort of seeing them trust Coach Shire and the coaching staff over there really made it easier for me as well.
He's obviously answered the question in terms of can he recruit at the same level Coach K has, but in terms of as a coach, why have you bought into that? Why should fans still feel like, okay, when we get out there and we're coaching, obviously he's still much younger, he's going to learn over time too still, but why should fans be excited for him as a coach and what he can do on the X's and O's and during the course of a game?
Yeah, well, he's coached games this season and he's won them. So he's been with Coach K for the last 8 years. Everyone's seen him. He's been a part of Duke for like his whole life.
Yeah.
So nothing's going to change. We're still Duke's going to still be as good as they were a few years ago, last year, the year before.
Mm-hmm.
So I don't, in my opinion, nothing's going to change. I trust him.
Having a coach that has basketball experience, that's played at Duke now, that you can kind of has walked your shoes that you're going to walk through now, how big will that be for yourself?
Yeah, huge. I think things that he took, he can help me get through. And then obviously being there's not a lot of internationals at Duke.
Yeah.
On the basketball team, or like there has been. So I think him just going through the experience and the coaches that are there going through that experience, playing under Coach K and stuff, I think it's going to be huge. Just picking their brain and just taking tips for what they learned and telling me.
What would you say is your favorite memory that you've created so far with Coach Scheyer?
Um, I'd say after one of the breakfasts, we drove to meet one of the academic people, and just being in the car with him and just talking one on one with him. I think it just clicked. Just getting a feel of him and just talking non-basketball stuff. I think that was it. It just felt right.
Is there anyone else on that coaching staff that you've become pretty close to, or has it just been Coach Scheyer for the most part?
No, all of them. Emil, Chris, Nolan. I was close with Nolan, and then he obviously went to Louisville. But yeah, no, all of them. I think my sister and my family connected with all the coaches pretty well. But yeah, no, it was really good.
As you mentioned, there hasn't been many international players play at Duke before, and you're just going to be the second Australian to ever play there. What kind of comes with that? Is that some sort of pressure in a way for yourself, or what does it mean at least to be able to represent Australia where there hasn't been too many Australian players before?
Yeah, well, I think there's no real pressure. I don't think.
Mhm.
I think it just helps kids over here. Just not a lot of people. Obviously, two people going to Duke from Australia, but it just shows kids over here that if you really work hard and stuff, it is possible.
Mhm.
And then it just creates more of an outlet for kids over here, so coaches could look over here more at Australian kids and just really see the potential that there is over here.
NIL has been a huge thing that's come into play now the past year or two now. Was that any impact on your recruiting process? And even if it wasn't, like, what is Duke's plan for you NIL wise? And did you guys discuss that much?
Yeah, not a lot of the NIL stuff. Like I didn't discuss early on.
Mm-hmm.
Um, so once I get my dual citizenship because my dad's American, I'll be good for the NIL stuff. And yeah, I've spoken a little bit to Duke about NIL when we're on the visits and stuff
Mm-hmm.
with their social media team and those guys. But early on, no, it's not. It's NIL isn't really a big impact that sort of changed the way I thought about the college.
So if you could, even if these don't have to be realistic, but if you could pick one NIL company, so any brand or company in the world that you could get sponsored by, rather it be a restaurant or a shoe company, a car, what would be the dream company to sponsor you for an NIL deal? For an NIL deal?
I mean, a shoe company, it has to like some sort of shoe. I'm a big sneakerhead. I love my shoes. So any shoe company would be awesome. Um, and then yeah, a car, like you said, shoe or a car, any of those at all.
Well, I know fans are going to be ecstatic to get you out there because, as I said, I think that right now you're ranked number 9 by 24/7. You're 39th all-time highest on Duke history in terms of commit, which will go up once other rankings put you in there too. But you are someone that I truly do believe could be the number one player in this group, could be the number one pick in 2024 when you get out there for the draft potentially. But what should fans be excited for you when you do get out there? What can fans expect you to bring to this program?
Yeah, I think just a lot of energy, offensively and defensively. When they need a bucket, I'm going to get you a bucket. I can find my teammates, but overall, I think just the overall vibe that I'll bring to Duke. Not many Australians obviously going over there, so I
Mm-hmm.
think just seeing them, um, you know, the way how I act over there, I think it'll just be cool.
You obviously have the age technically where you could potentially play next year. Is that something that you've considered at all? Would playing and reclassing at the 2020 class, 2022 class, would that be something that was on the table for you? And have you discussed that to an extent?
Yeah, it was there. It was there early on. I discussed about it, but no, I'm gonna stick to 23. I'm gonna go next year.
So what's in store for you the next year then? You got 1 year to get on campus. What's your plans? And also at the same time, what are some things you want to improve on and get better at before you step foot on campus?
Yeah. So just traveling with the academy again. I think we've got a couple FIBA tournaments coming up with the U19s and the U19s group.
Mhm.
So that'll be good. Then just I reckon getting better on defense. Just being more of a pest full court, um, fighting over screens more and stuff, and then just keep getting better at my reads off on balls. I've done a lot of work on that, and just yeah, I reckon those two main things.
With my also once again put you on the spot a little bit, but if you had to pick your top 5 favorite Duke players of all time, who's your top 5 favorite Duke players?
Zion's up there.
Mm-hmm.
Grant Hill's up there.
Mm-hmm.
Um, who else? Ingram's up there.
Mm-hmm.
Tatum and Kyrie.
Yep. You're not gonna put coach in there?
Coach, he's six man. I'll put him as six man.
You just once again look at that group now and you see all these long lists of guys that's been successful at Duke and now the NBA. How exciting is that for you to say now you could potentially become the next one to do that?
Yeah, no, definitely. That's one of the main reasons I chose to go there. It just shows, if you work hard at Duke, you can get to the NBA, and that's been a goal of mine from a young age. But yeah, no, the alumni there is definitely tight. A lot of ex players would come back and share their thoughts on how they thought, how they made it and stuff. So I think yeah, it's really big.
I know that all guys do want to be remembered for something. So when that time does come and you end up leaving Duke after 1 year or however many years it is, what do you want to be remembered for what you achieved both on and off the court throughout your Duke career?
I think just on the court, the way I carry myself and the energy I play with, the passion I play with, and off the court, just being a role model. Just being real respectful to everyone. I want everyone to remember me as being a respectful person. And yeah, just being a good guy.
Well, I know one other thing that could be possibly on the table for yourself is with your age, you could possibly find a way to qualify too for the 2023 draft. Is that something that would be on the table for yourself if it's available? Like if the next year goes great and you continue to rise up, would possibly testing your waters, at least in the NBA, be something you'd consider?
Yeah, definitely. I think when the time's there, when I feel right, my family feels right, whenever that may be, then yeah, 100%.
Absolutely, man. Well, my final question I've got for you, give Duke fans your three biggest goals that you have set for your career there.
Definitely winning a national championship
Mm-hmm.
in the ACC, and being North Carolina. We're doing that one. We're being North Carolina.
Absolutely, man. Well, Tyrese, congratulations on the commitment, man. I'm excited to see what God's got next for you. Keep doing your thing out there and appreciate taking time to come on today, man.
Yeah, for sure. Thank you for having me. I appreciate it.
Of course, you're always welcome on, man. God bless you.
All right, you too. Thank you.